Hi and welcome to the channel. If you're interested in working in Poland and you've got your work permit but you're not sure how to get started on your visa application process, you are in luck, because in this video I'll be taking you step by step on how you can apply for a Poland work visa online. From required documents to how to fill your application online, I will take you through everything you need to know to make your application a smooth and stress-free process. So let's get started. If you're new to this channel, welcome. On this channel I talk about YouTube, blogging, online business and branding, and of course a sprinkle of Java content, which is one of the videos I am making today. So if this is your kind of content, do well to hit that subscribe button, because I've got tons of videos like this you would find very interesting. Let's get started on how you can fill your application form online for the Poland work visa. For this video I will take it that you already have your work permit and you just want to see how to do the visa application. I'll have a video for how you can get the work permits, what you need to do. Poland actually opened their borders for foreign workers, so any company who is approved by the government to give work permits to foreign employees are more than welcome to do that. And many foreign employees apply directly to the companies, and when the companies have vacancies for foreign workers, they give them the job position, they give them a work permit, the normal process, and then you use the work permit to apply for the visa, which I'll be showing you. I'll be taking you through a live application with a client who got their own Poland work permit, and my clients already sent me the work permit, so I'll be showing you how you can apply step by step. For a start, this is the work permit. This is the client's work permit. Everything is there, the employer's details, the client's details, all the necessary information we need to submit on the Poland website. They're all in this work permit. I'm going to head on to the Poland government's website. I would always recommend go directly to the Poland government website, because typing in this into the Google search engine may bring you a different website, because so many people now are beginning to take advantage of stuff like this. So it's better you're on the safe side and go directly to the website that's going to give you the full information you want. We're going straight into the gov.polish website, and this is their website, gov.pl. Then once it opens, first of all it's going to show in Polish. If you're using Chrome, it will automatically give you the option to translate this to English, and then you select it and then you translate. Once the page has been translated, the next thing you do is to search for visa application. So you're going to scroll down. There are so many things regarding visa application, but what we need as work visa permit application is this one, the national D-type visa application submission process. So you click on it, and then when you click on it, it will bring you to the announcement page. It's just like general instructions. You obviously need to submit it in person. That's when you're going to the embassy, you need to be there in person. No doing anything via email or fax or stuff like that. It has to be in person. And for you to book your appointment to go to the embassy, you need to do this on the e-consulate system, which is where I'll be showing you now. And you need to apply at least 2 weeks before the visit date, which is very important. And if you need more information about all you need to know about this visa application process, you can always click the link below. It has to be related to your country. This one is for Armenia, but you can, if you click it, it will show you options to search through your own country, and then you can select it. So we'll just jump right into the e-consulate system for us to make our application. This e-consulate site is going to come out in Polish again. Just go to this part of your screen to translate it to English. So just click on it and select English. And then when it's translated, what you need to do is select the country where you are currently, the country where you would go to the embassy. For the clients making their application, they are currently in Nigeria, so I'm going to go with N. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Nigeria for this client, and in Nigeria it only has one embassy, which is in Abuja, so I'm just going to click that. So the embassy is in Maitama Extension in Abuja, and now we'll just jump into registration of visa applications are done on this address. So we click on it, and we'll be presented with where we'll make our application. Still, you can always translate back to English if at any point the website goes back to Polish. Sometimes this can happen, so just go ahead and click the country again. Sometimes it refreshes back to the country, so go ahead and click the country again whenever you change to English. Now this is just like the instructions you need to know, which is you need to fill the correct category. If it's study visa, work visa, or visit visa, you need to select the right one. If there's any error in selecting any of these categories, the first stage will be denied. This application process is into two stages. This first one is a preliminary visa application. What it means is you are just putting in the basic details for them to verify. Once they verify, they'll send you an email, and then you can go ahead and complete the visa application. Everything you fill in here that they will cross-check and approve. If you get an approval email after filling this first part, you go ahead and submit your full application and get a physical appointment in the embassy. However, if you get a rejection email, you have to check to see what issue it is and see if it's something you can resolve. If not, you're not crossing this preliminary stage. The next instruction says you need to come to the consular office, which is the embassy, on the appointment date with your printed and signed visa form and all the required documents. The printed and signed visa form is what I'm going to show you now, and the required documents are usually shown to you after you submit your visa application, and this varies by countries. So every country, whenever you submit your application online, you will see all the required documents you need to bring. In fact, if you ask me, I would say you should just take everything that has to do with your Polish application, go there with it, all your travel documents, everything, because sometimes you could go with what you think is needed, and then they could ask you for something else which you may not have on the spot. Next, you can also go to this website for more information about the registration documents that are required. You can do that on your own when you want to. So this is a very important thing to note. Like I earlier mentioned, you need to provide your full and authentic data. These need to tally with the document you submitted. If it's a student, you are going for the visa, study visa. If you're applying for work, it's the work visa. Now with the instruction done, let me show you what next we need to do. So the top left hand side of the screen, you would see National Visa Register Form and Fill-in Form. These two are what concerns you. The Schengen visa is for visit visa, it's not for you. So this top register form is the part where you would fill in the preliminary application, which I'm going to show you right now. And then this fill-in form is the rest of the form, which you will go into after you've gotten a successful email when you submitted this. So I'm going to show you the two, but for now, let's start with the first step you need to take for your visa application to get started online, which is register form. So after clicking that, it's going to bring out some instructions which are very important for you to read. Always read instructions when you are making any application online, because vital information are always there. Even if you think you already know what's been said, please read and read. Now, the first instruction says, for your visa application to be accepted, you will need an application, which is what we're doing now, and a biometric picture and your travel document, which is your passport, and any other additional documents. All these things are what you would take to the embassy when it's time for your appointment. Next instruction says, before you fill in the details and reserve any dates, you should read all the information concerning the required documents. That is to be sure you have all the necessary documents you need. You need to read all the information about that. And if you remember, I said you should go with all your documents, because sometimes they could request for a document which you don't have that was shown on the website for you to come with. But when you go with all your documents regarding this Polish application, you will not be taken by surprise. Next instruction says you make an appointment, which is what we're going to do while filling the form too. Then failure to complete the application within 1 hour after starting it will result to its cancellation. That's why before you start the visa application, you need to have all your details ready. Your work permits will be open in one side of the screen. Every other details you need to have them ready, so that once you start, you are done. The form doesn't take a long time, but you need to be done within an hour. If not, it's going to close and then you have to start all over again, and you probably lose that appointment date you'll find. Any error in your application will lead to refusal. You just have to put in details that are correct. If not, it will be rejected from the very beginning. And your email address needs to be very correct. Look at it more than 3 times before you submit, because any correspondence will be sent to that email. With that being said, let's jump right into the application. You have to click I am human, obviously, which we are. So cards, and let's click next. First of all, type of service. This is where you select work visa, study, or others. Because we're going for work visa, we're going to select work. If it's for students, you select studies. If it's for visits or any other thing, you select others. So location Abuja, because Abuja is the only embassy in Nigeria. Then click next. Sometimes you can run into issues like this because if you've done a booking request, they are trying to limit registering more than one person per visa in a day. So this is also to tell you that whenever you start the application, ensure as you start it, you finish it the same day within an hour, because if it exceeds the hour, if it refreshes, when you want to start again, it's going to show you this error. The only way out of this error is to use another laptop with another network different from the one you were using, or you wait for 24 hours and try again. So I'm going to be switching to another network and continue. I have switched to another and now I'm in. The first thing we would see, obviously, instructions. Let's go through it. Instruction says this preliminary application is more like verifying your documents, which entitles you to work in Poland, which is your work permit. First of all, you have to accept the terms and conditions. You have to submit the preliminary application, which we are doing right now, and of course, the information you fill in should be the same with what you have on your documents, which is the work permit. And you also have to wait for the email address they'll send you to confirm the preliminary application. Once you've confirmed the email address using the link, next within 48 hours they'll send you a successful email, or if there's any issue anywhere, they will send you an email to show that the application has been rejected. After that, you go ahead and complete the application as I will show you, and also get your appointment date. Lastly, you will get all the information via email regarding visiting the embassy. You have to remember whatever you fill in here should correspond with your work permit details. You will then find the next time of booking the appointment is 1st of March, and also the available dates you can book an appointment is between 10th of March to 17th of March. This you would clearly see after you've completed the final application. Now we'll go ahead and complete the preliminary application. We're going to fill in the details, surname exactly how it is in the work permit. I will recommend you even copy and paste your details from the work permit just to be sure you're putting everything correctly. So surname first, next first name, and then your email address. You have to triple check your email address to be sure it's correct. Then your phone number, your travel data for the intended date of arrival. For instance, you're putting in the application last week of February, you should be looking at a month plus for you to select as your date of arrival to Poland. So you should be looking at, let's say, ending of March or first week of April. Next, intended date of departure. This should be the last day you have on your work permit. I would recommend you put that in, or even some days before that date on your work permit. The reason being, you would want to show them that after your last day of work, you will be coming back to your country, and you just need to put that for the sake of this application. You may go and after the 3 years work permit, you would extend it, but for this particular application, you need to put at least the last day of work on your work permit, or some days before that last work date written on your work permit. Next, passport data. This is going to be your passport number, exactly how it is in the work permit. Copy and paste if you must. And type of travel documents, usually it's ordinary passports, but if you have a different type, just click on it. Next, we're looking at, this is where many people miss things, and when they submit, their first application is not approved because of this place. Now, the instruction says one of these options is the type of work permit you have. The reason why you have to be very careful in picking any is the answers are in Polish. So if you don't really know what each of these things mean and you just select any one, and it's not corresponding with what's on your work permit, it will be rejected. The work permits for my clients is work permits for entry into the Poland, even though the English would not specify clearly that this is foreigners work permit entry into Poland, but we know that is what it is. For this first option, this is extension of a permit, that is if you're already in Poland. The second option is work permit for a foreigner in Poland, that is if you're there already and you want another work permit. The third one is declaration of entering work to a foreigner, which is very common if you are a foreigner outside Poland looking for entry into the country. Next one is declaration of temporary work agency, more like an agency work. Last one is certificate of entry for seasonal work, which is for those applying for seasonal work. We move to selecting the type of documents entitling you to work. When you click on the options, what I would recommend you do for you to be sure you're selecting the right option is, for instance, this first option, you copy the entire option you go to Google Translate, you paste it in, and then when it gives you the English translation, then you will know if that is the one you want or not. So in this case, because I'm already familiar with this, the one I'm looking for is this third option. So I'll use it to show you how you can copy and paste and translate it on Google. I recommend you do it because mine may be showing the third option for me, but if you are searching it from your own end, it may not be showing it in the third option. For you to be on the safe side, best to translate it to be sure of what you're clicking. I'm going to show you how you can copy and paste this. I'm just going to highlight the entire line. It's sometimes tricky, but we're going to get it, don't worry. You just keep finding how you can do that. Even if it means you typing out the word exactly, if you're not able to copy it, please do. You just need to get the exact meaning of what it is. So this shows number of declaration on entrusting works to a foreigner. Perfect. This is what we need. So we'll click on it. The next question, which is document number entitling you to work. For this, you have to go to the work permit, and then on any of the page of the work permit, scroll to the bottom. You will see the document ID right below here. Copy the number and then go and paste it where it was asked for. Next is the date of issue of your work permit. This you would find in your work permit. If you scroll somewhere towards the end, you will find it. So just put that in here, and also the validity when it's ending. You also put that in here. Next is issued by. Here they're just asking you which of the government offices issued the work permit. There are so many of them, and different work permits have different bodies that issued theirs. So you have to go to yours to confirm. You go to the work permit, and the first place you will find the beginning part of the government body is this unit code. This digit here is the beginning part of what you should search for here. So we're looking at 08U. So we'll have to scroll down to 08U here. So confirm this remaining part of the name. We come back to the work permit, and here you can see name of office. So this is it. When we go back to it, you can see this is it. So we've confirmed this is the office that issued this work permit. Then we'll go ahead and click on it. That's it. So finally, you just click that you accept for your data to be used to process the registration form. When that is done, you click on continue. The reason why you're seeing this error is because I have not filled in the entire details of the client. So I'm just going to swipe off camera and finish completing the client's details, and then click on continue and show you the next thing you would find. The email for the preliminary visa application has come in. I just click on it to activate the account, and once I've done that, I'll get my confirmation email. Next is to wait for 48 hours for them to send me the link to complete the second application. If you got an email that it's not been approved, in most cases it's either you do not select the right visa, or you not impute the correct details according to what's in the work permit, or your work permit has expired. They may not really put a date for expiry on your work permit when it's been issued, but it's best once you've been issued your work permit, apply as quickly as you can, because the more time you waste, the less your chance of being approved, because it has a deadline even though it's not been written. Figure out which of these is the problem. You always have the opportunity to go back and reapply again if you felt you made any mistake along the line. Now we're done with the preliminary application and we've gotten the successful email. The next thing I'm going to show you is the second half of the application. What you need to do is you come to this fill-in form, and then you click on it, and when it brings out the form, next thing you're going to do is fill in your personal details, and everything you need here is in the work permit, your personal details, and also every other details in the work permit. So let's take it from the top. You have your main surname here and a previous surname. That's if you're married or you change the surname, or whatever circumstances that happen that you change your surname. It's for this second option. And then here you put your first name, and also the date of birth comes next, and place of birth next. It's best to use the place of birth that appears on your passport. Next is country of birth. This current nationality will be if you have any other nationality apart from your original one. You fill it in here. If not, you still put the same nationality you have. And then this is the original one at birth. Next is your sex, male, female, and then marital status. followed by your national identification number. If you don't have any, leave it blank. If you do, you fill it in. And then your passport data, probably ordinary because that's like the most common one. If not, select the passport type you have. And next, your passport number here, and then the date of the passport, the date the passport has been issued, the expiry date, and what country issued it. Here it's if you're a minor, which in this case you're not because you're applying for a job. You can just go ahead and click it does not apply to you. It's important you click this does not apply because if you don't, it's going to show asterisk right next to the options, which means the options are very important to answer. If you don't answer them, it's going to give you an error. You have to come back to the form. So best to click on does not apply for it to wipe the asterisks away. Next is your own home address, your state, your province, the place, the postal code, your address. All these details are for you, so you have to fill in your details correctly. And then your email address and your phone number, it should also match what you filled in the preliminary application. The next one is if you're a resident in a country which is not your current nationality, so you say yes. But if you're in a country which you are still a national of, which is your current nationality, you click no. Next is your current occupation. If you are a trader, you can fill that in. If you are whatever occupation you have, you can fill that in here, and you can just generalize it by leaving it under white collar job. But if you're a business person, you specify self-employed. If you're a student, you can also specify student. And then when that is highlighted, you can now choose to fill in the details of either your employer or your school if you're a worker or you're a student. Then when you select which of the two, you can go ahead and fill in your details. And if you are not finding any of your occupation here, you can specify others, which is here. And if you are unemployed, you have nothing you're doing, there is also the option for no occupation. So there's always an answer for everybody. Next is main purpose of the journey. In this case, your work is not listed in the list, so you just select other and then you specify work visa. So I'm going to scroll down for you to see clearly. So that's it. Purpose of the trip, work, because work is not on the list. Then next is the travel data, the destination country, obviously Poland. Member state of first entry, still Poland, because Poland is the first and the last point of entry. That's where you're going. And number of entries requested, single entry. And then visa requested for, it's best you put in 365 days. 365 days is the maximum you can take because that's what you can only fill in here. Nothing more than 365 days, nothing less than 90 days. It doesn't really affect your 3 years work visa. You will still be able to carry on with your work visa. Then national visa issued during the past years, during the past 5 years. This is if you've applied or received any previous Poland visa. You can choose yes or no. Whichever option you choose, you can fill this in accordingly. Next is fingerprints collected previously for the purpose of applying. This is if you've done any Schengen visa before. You can click in yes or no and then fill in the details appropriately. The reason for all this is for them to know if you've visited Poland before and then for them to check your records, see if you have any issue the last time you visited. Next question is entry permit for the final destination, which is intended date of arrival. For instance, your work permit was issued in like last week of February. You should always give a month plus gap to select your date of arrival. So if it's last week of February, you're looking at last week of March or early April. For this, we can just do the 2nd of April. Intended date of departure. Please, this should be the date on your work permit, the last work date on your work permit. If possible, some days or a day before that final day. Very important because you want to let them know that immediately after you work, you are leaving the country. You are not going to stay beyond. So if you can choose that exact date or even days before that day, perfect. For this part, they want to know who is inviting you, if it's an individual or if it's a company. In your case, it's definitely a company because you apply for a job, so you can go ahead and select the inviter is a company. But if it's an individual, you can go ahead and select a person. But since it's not, we're using this. We'll scroll down and here you would find the name and address of the company itself. This is where you fill it in. You will find this information in the work permit. Even if it's not there, you can always reach out to the employer for them to provide you with these details. And then next is the contact detail of a contact person in the company, which you also fill in here. It's also in the work permit. If not, you can always call the employer. Next is this is still relating to the company. You can fill that in from them or from the work permits. Next question is the data of the person covering the expenses. In this case, if it's you, you select that you are the person covering your cost of traveling. If it's not you, if it's the company, you can select here. So if it's you, let's go with it's you. And you can also select how you intend to support yourself, if it is by cash or any other means. So travel and health insurance, I'll always recommend you book an insurance before you travel. It puts a level of seriousness on your application. You can do that in your country. There are companies that run travel insurance, health insurance, private companies. You can always register with one and then put in the details of the health insurance in here. And it will be good you book that a month ahead of when you're traveling. The next question does not apply to you because this is for seasonal workers, unless that is the one you are applying for. If it doesn't apply to you, you can leave the option ticked, but if it does, you can untick it and fill it in appropriately. Next is EU citizen data. This is if you're a citizen of the European Union. If not, you can click does not apply. And then next is to tick all the boxes and submit. So the first one, you need to be aware the visa fee is non-refundable. You have to tick that. And then you also need to be aware that any application you do more than once will be rejected. You have to tick that, you know that. And you also have to tick that all the details submitted are correct. And lastly, you have to tick that you consent for them to use your data for the registration. With that done, you can go ahead and click next. So if there is no error anywhere, it will tell you to move to the next page. If not, you will find an error that says your data is incomplete. But if that is not the case, you are done. The next page is just to show you your appointment dates and then things you need to take with you to the appointment in physical, that is to the embassy. And once that your biometrics are done in the embassy, you are good to go. You just have to wait for your visa to come out. And that's it. Your visa application has been submitted. So the next thing you would do is wait for the confirmation email, and then you take the document to the embassy on the appointment date. Once you do the final steps at the embassy, you are done. You just have to wait for your visa to be out, and that's it. Pretty easy. If you are done with all of this process and you've submitted your application and you're done with the embassy, I wish you a very good luck, because once your visa is out, you're off to Poland. Yes, you're off to Poland. So I wish you good luck in this endeavor, and once your visa is out, please do well to come and share the good news with us. We would want to celebrate with you.